Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Harriet Wallace. The Glass House, a local Elmira Heights bar, has been engulfed by flames. The fire broke out around 3:30 in the morning on Saturday. Multiple fire crews worked together to tackle the blaze at 135 Prescott Avenue. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. This weekend was the annual Street Painting Festival in Elmira. Our Maggie Hall hit the streets to give us a recap and some exclusive footage.
I'm here in downtown Elmira, where behind me you'll be able to see some of the street paintings from this weekend that refused to be washed away by today's rain. The streets of Elmira were brought alive for the first time in 2 years as the Elmira Street Painting Festival returned. WYDC has some exclusive footage for you with a bird's eye view. These streets became a walkable art gallery this past Saturday and Sunday as artists created these amazing masterpieces with only chalk and paint. Local restaurants and vendors lined the streets as festival attendees were able to watch the art come alive right in front of their eyes. The Street Painting Festival was born in July 2008. The Elmira Street Painting Festival website states that with the positive transformation of downtown Elmira, the goal of the organization was to have our local residents and visitors rediscover our city. Artists from all over New York come to share their visions and talents with the public. Attendees were also serenaded by local bands during the festival. If you're interested in creating your own masterpiece or simply want to watch the streets come alive, be sure to like and follow Elmira Street Painting Festival on Facebook. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Twain Country summer tours are back for the first time in 2 years. The tour bus is set to leave the station this week in Elmira. Our Josh Feldberg spoke with tour organizers to find out what's new this year.
Twain Country summer tours are preparing to show off some of Elmira's famous landmarks. This year will mark the 35th anniversary of the guided tours. Starting this Thursday, tours will be available every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday until August 27th.
People live in places and often don't know that much about their own local history, but this clarifies it out in an entertaining fashion so people can really take delight in the unique nature of our community here.
This year will be the first year the tours will be done on a bus. In previous years, the tours were on a trolley. The buses will be air-conditioned and will still go to all the same sites that the trolley tours went to. Trolley master Mark Del Grosso is back for his 20th and final season as the head guide for the tours.
The writers are so good. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. They thanked me so much. Even the people who lived right here in town and rode said they always learned something that they'd never known before. I met people from all over the world, literally, and it's just been very gratifying for me personally.
I'm at the Chemung Valley History Museum. This is where all Twain Country summer tours depart from. All tours also include free admission to the museum inside. Elmira has a lot of hidden history that the tours help people discover. If you are interested in learning about the history yourself or want to take one last ride with Mark, you can take one of the Twain Country summer tours yourself. More information on the tours can be found on their website. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Elmira.
Well, today's gas prices are a penny less than yesterday, if that helps at all, according to AAA. But a new poll shows Americans, they just aren't happy with gas prices, inflation, or the White House. Democrats, meanwhile, they're not too happy either with one of their own. Carolyn Shively reports from Washington.
A Fox News poll shows the majority of Americans who want to be doing this rearrange those vacation plans because of this.
Driving now might be a little bit more in the plans, but we weren't going to go until the prices came down because it was crazy.
52% of Americans changed their summer travel plans because of high gas prices, according to the poll. And more of them blame President Biden for the pain at the pump than Russia or gas companies. Democrats point out that the global price of oil has come down 25% from its peak, and the White House says it's pulling out all the stops to bring down overall inflation.
But this isn't on a political timetable. That's what I keep saying to my friends in the Biden administration. It upsets them. They want to know, well, what can we do before November? You can't really do anything. This is not on a political timetable. It's on an economic timetable.
Democrats were hoping to push through a $1 trillion economic package before November until Senator Joe Manchin yanked support, citing high inflation numbers.
That you have people like Manchin, Sinema to a lesser degree, who are intentionally sabotaging the president's agenda, what the American people want.
But some economists are also expressing worry.
Senator Manchin is absolutely right to be more worried about inflation after the Friday report.
The Federal Reserve meets next week. Economists are predicting an aggressive rate hike. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Restaurants are still struggling to maintain staff despite the pandemic easing. The National Restaurant Association says as of May, the restaurant industry is still down 750,000 jobs compared to pre-pandemic levels. Customers are experiencing long wait times to get seats for food, according to a report. Customer satisfaction ratings fell among fast food, independent, and national chain brands this year, and short staffing complaints were 3 times higher in Yelp reviews than a year ago. Dr. Anthony Fauci is planning on retiring by the end of President Joe Biden's current term in office. The government's top infection disease specialist saying in a report in Politico that he will likely retire after more than 5 decades of federal service under 7 different presidential administrations. He said he did not expect to remain in government until COVID-19 is eradicated, as the 81-year-old doctor believes we will be living with this for years to come. No word if Dr. Fauci has a specific date in mind for his retirement. Steve Bannon arrives at court as jury selection begins for his trial. The former advisor to President Trump faces criminal contempt of Congress charges after refusing to testify before the House committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. Ben is being charged with 2 counts that each carry a minimum of 30 days in jail to a maximum of 1 year behind bars. In a turn of events earlier in July, Bannon said he's now willing to testify. Another scare in the waters off Long Island Sunday as a string of shark attacks this summer has lifeguards and beachgoers treading lightly when entering the water. Laura Engel has that story.
Some excitement here midday as a shark fin sighting prompted local officials in Nassau County to close several beaches to swimmers. Still, beachgoers say once those waters open back up, it's not going to stop them from going back in.
It's a beautiful beach. I don't go too deep. I feel pretty safe. I don't know, maybe ignorant, but maybe safe.
Each summer, there are reports of shark sightings along New York's Long Island, but shark attacks are extremely rare, and there have been several here these last few weeks. 2 of the most recent shark attacks happened this last Wednesday in Suffolk County. First, a 41-year-old man was knocked off his paddleboard by a sand tiger shark, which then bit him, giving him a 4-inch gash on the leg. Later in the day, a 49-year-old man who was standing in waist-deep water along Seaview Beach was chomped on, a shark swimming up from behind, biting him on the left wrist and backside. It's been years since there have been any reports of shark bites or attacks in these waters, and now up to 5 reported shark attacks have occurred since June 30th. While the images of these attacks on swimmers and lifeguards has been concerning to many, others are ready to dive in.
I'm trusting the lifeguards and the drones and the county to keep an eye out for the sharks, because I'm planning on swimming today. That's why I'm here.
New York is not alone. There have been 24 total shark bites this year, 13 in Florida, 2 in California, and 2 in South Carolina.
So we just got to keep our guard up.
All right, you have a game plan if you see one?
Yeah, swim out of the water real fast.
Shark patrols have been very active today. We've seen helicopters in the air, boats on the water, and lifeguards on the lookout as the shark sighting count continues. In New York, Laura Engel, Fox News.
Your complete work week forecast is next, plus more details on the nation's struggle with inflation and why some experts are warning the Fed's interest rate hikes may not help. Stay with us.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Well, a warmer weekend did lead into a rainy start to the work week. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Triplett, and most of those showers continue to dissipate as a frontal system works its way towards the east coast. The skies will clear and those temperatures will be able to fall into the 60s as we step through the overnight. Now, we are going to continue to track some changes. As we see that drying and clearing as we head into tomorrow morning, temperatures are also going to be on a warming trend. We'll hug at least seasonal as we head into that Tuesday forecast, but it is going to be very warm by your Wednesday forecast. And that's where precautions are needed to be taken as we are looking at heat indices that could be nearing the triple digits. So start to plan now of ways to stay cool, but it's not going to be long-lived heat. That's the good news. As another cold front is going to be setting up across portions of New York as we head into your Wednesday evening. That is going to swing through another chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we head into that Thursday forecast, but there could be bigger changes as we look at the extended forecast. As for what we'll track through the overnight, as mentioned, most of that shower and thunderstorm activity has diminished. Maybe some areas of fog in the morning due to some moisture lingering, but for the most part, it looks to stay quiet. Maybe a stray shower or two, but it looks like most of that does remain off to the north as we head into your Tuesday forecast for then Wednesday to bring in some early morning sunshine that's going to jump those temperatures up, but then bring those sweeping changes by the evening hours. And those sweeping changes are bringing a slight risk, or a marginal risk, I should say. Slight risk is across Pennsylvania, but we will see that marginal risk across Elmira and Corning late on Wednesday into Thursday. It will all be dependent on some timing parameters, and this is still that 3-day outlook. So we'll keep an eye on any updates to the potential for your Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. As for temperature-wise, we are going to see that temperatures are not going to take much time to turn around. After staying cooler under the showers and cloud cover today, we're back up to about 90 degrees as we head into your Tuesday across much of the region. Finger Lakes may be able to stay a little bit cooler into those 80s after that rainy Monday. Now into Tuesday, you'll see that Wednesday, those temperatures climb up about 5 degrees. So we're up to 95 degrees for your Wednesday, and then much of the Finger Lakes as well as across portions of Pennsylvania, the 90s will be in store. And not only do you see the 90s for temperatures, but you'll see those upper 90s for feel-like temperatures. You even have the potential for a few locations to flirt with the triple digits, including Elmira. So note that the heat will build, and that's where those dew points are expected to be able to climb up to the upper 60s. So good moisture field also means that we could talk about some good rainfall amounts from this system as well. We'll keep an eye on that potential as those showers will run into that Thursday forecast and then diminish as we head into your Friday. So some comfortable conditions definitely Friday. Still warm as we are in the summertime months. Easy to get those temperatures back up into those 80s at least. But then as we head into the weekend, a few 90-degree days will be possible again, but there is going to be a chance for some stronger storms to again start to develop with another frontal system that is going to swing through mainly into that Sunday forecast, but a few isolated storms late on Saturday possible before we look like we could be tracking changes early next week.
Delta Airlines places a major order for new planes. Starbucks mulls a UK exit, and H&M decides to shut down operations in one of their biggest markets. Chris Foster has those stories in today's Business Briefs.
The world's second biggest fashion retailer, H&M, will be leaving Russia. Comes after the company suspended business in March following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. 6,000 employees will lose their jobs. It's unclear if they'll be given any severance. The exit will cost H&M an estimated $191 million. A new report by The Times suggests Starbucks may leave the UK. The coffee giant has reportedly asked its advisor Houlihan Lokey to assess business interest inside the country. Starbucks says this is not a formal sale process, just an evaluation. It comes as the coffee chain faces increased competition from rival UK coffee brands. Delta Airlines is expanding its Boeing 737 fleet, the company announcing it will buy 100 new 737 MAX 10 jets for an estimated cost of about $13.5 billion. The deal has options for 30 more planes if needed. Boeing will reportedly start deliveries in 2025. But first, it needs government approval following new regulations that require new planes to be outfitted with a cockpit alert system.
Surging prices seem to know no bounds. But as Americans continue to struggle with the rising price of consumer goods, some economists say the Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates may not be the golden ticket to slowing inflation. Chris DeMeo has a look at inflation's impacts on the housing market, plus a rare but unique solution combating sky-high rent and labor shortages all at once.
With inflation recently hitting its highest rate in 40 years, Americans are still feeling the sting, as the latest data from the Consumer Price Index shows the cost of goods rose more than 9% in June compared to a year ago.
I think the Fed is under pressure to show that they're doing something.
And while the Federal Reserve moved to hike interest rates to slow inflation, some economists say it may not be enough to provide relief. mainly attributing the surging prices to supply chain issues caused by the pandemic and ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine.
The Fed obviously can't pump oil and they can't grow wheat, so all they can really do is impact the demand side of that supply-demand equation.
So far, rising interest rates are pinching the housing market.
Mortgage rates have gone up from 3% to where they're at right now, right around 5.75%.
With real estate professionals saying higher rates could prevent homeowners from selling, prevent prospective house hunters from buying, and could force more people into rentals.
We're seeing a lot of homeowners opt not to sell, and a lot of that has to do with being locked in at such low mortgage rates.
Meanwhile, as the nation continues facing an affordable housing crisis, more school districts are eyeing the possibility of educator housing to tackle rising rents and prevent worker shortages. In California, one school district is already making this a reality, offering staff the rare chance of living in a new apartment complex that's close to their work and for considerably lower rent than apartments in the surrounding area.
Still ahead, Tesla is closer to adding a new feature to its cars that will have gamers excited. That story and more coming up. Elon Musk and Twitter are at odds over when a civil lawsuit against Musk should begin. The social media giant, which Musk pledged to buy, says it wants a mid-September date for the lawsuit to proceed. Twitter sued Musk last week over reneging on a $44 billion deal to buy the company. Musk says that date is way too soon and should not be until February of 2023 at the earliest. Musk asserts Twitter has not provided data for him to assess problems with fake and spam accounts. Musk says that data is critical to determining Twitter's value. Tesla is closer to adding a feature that would expand its collection of in-car games. Elon Musk said on Twitter Friday, Tesla is making progress with Steam integration and a demo version could be released next month. The potential upgrade will allow customers to see more in-car games and content beyond Tesla's built-in arcade. Musk did not specify if the integration will let customers make purchases through Steam's platform from their cars, or which games Tesla would not support. SIM cards in your cell phones are being replaced. The SIM card, a small physical chip in your cell phone, will soon give way to embedded versions of SIM cards. This new technology will activate your service by logging into an app or by scanning a QR code. That's the matrix of barcodes with black and white squares. Industry analysts say the new connection means phones will be sleeker. They'll connect to a service carrier with no store visit, and the technology will let you have two numbers on your phone at the same time. Amazon is getting ready to begin drone delivery testing in 2 states. Amazon says it's ready to test its Prime Air drone delivery service in College Station, Texas. The company is also planning another test site in Lockford, California. Customers there are hoping to be part of a test group. The company says the hexagonal design of the drone will increase stability and reduce high-frequency sound waves. Amazon received FAA drone takeoff and landing permission in 2019 and package carrying permission beyond a visual operator's line of sight in 2020. TikTok's global security chief is stepping down from his role. That announcement comes as TikTok deals with more scrutiny from U.S. officials over data privacy concerns. Roland Cloutier will move to an advisory role with the social media giant. A recent report revealed TikTok employees in China had access to data from U.S. users. The company admitted to that in a letter to U.S. lawmakers and said it plans to move Americans' data to Oracle servers that are stored in the U.S. Cloutier will step down effective September 2nd and will be temporarily replaced by a senior member of TikTok's security team. Stay with us. We'll have more news coming up right after this. We want to leave you with a smile. Zookeepers try to keep the sea life cool at an aquarium in London as temperatures spike across the UK. Penguins enjoyed some icy treats, and an octopus played with a bucket as part of a daily enrichment program. Britain is under a red extreme heat warning as temperatures in some areas are expected to reach 104 degrees Fahrenheit this week, beating out Britain's highest temperature ever recorded, just over 101 degrees Fahrenheit in 2019. Residents are warned to look out for the elderly and their pets. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Scott Beadle.